it's a historic agreement, if you ask me. There's no two ways about that. And I think we may have been taken by surprise here. The Saudis did mention that they had kept India informed about this. But the agreement, as it's played out, is a bit of a surprise to us. And it is something that we possibly didn't see coming, because we were so, let's say, complacent about our relationship with the Saudi Arabians and, of course, the UAE, that this would have taken us by surprise. But that's what Pakistan has been doing literally in the last couple of months. They've been moving
even
very
with
quickly.
the US to an extent.
Yeah, even the US thing. See, they're playing tactics. They're very good at tactics, right? They move very quickly. They make themselves useful. That's their playbook, right? Whereas we play the long game. It's like an elephant's gait. I would say India's foreign policy is like an elephant that's walking very slowly and steadily and surely. It's moving ahead, right? You won't see an elephant, running helter-skelter. Well, they do, but those are rogue elephants. But we are not a rogue elephant. We move straight. We move on a path, a predestined path, a pre-decided path. And it might look very slow, ungainly and all that, but that's how we've been moving for the last couple of years. And all the provocations that you've seen, whether it comes from Islamabad or GHQ Rawalpindi or even from Washington, as we've been seeing off late, haven't thrown us off course. We've still persisted down that straight line of advance, which is what we've been doing here. So while these may be temporary hiccups, I think the long run, the Saudis realize that India is going to be the third largest economy. Whichever way you look at it, India is going to be the third largest economy. And we are going to need oil and gas. And a lot of that is going to come from Saudi Arabia, right? They're one of our biggest customers for suppliers of oil and natural gas, oil particularly. And we're not moving away from that. We will consume much, much more than what Pakistan does. And we offer much more to the Saudis and the UAE than Pakistan ever will.
Yeah, true.
So I think it's, I don't blame the Saudis also for what they did. You're in a situation where a country that's a strategic partner of the United States gets knocked by a ballistic missile attack, several ballistic missiles. The US doesn't say and do anything. And they say, hey, listen, what happened to this fabled US umbrella, security umbrella that all of us were supposed to have been provided with, And I think that was a kind of reminder to the US. Like, if you don't protect us, we got to make our own choices, man.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Right. Good point about how Pakistan has been going around. Asim Munir particularly has been going around, because that actually is, I think, that reminds me of, how we keep saying that Pakistani military chiefs usually are more CEOs than they're actually military officers.
Yeah. Some Pakistani army chiefs, not all of them. Some of them. And, the dictator variety, like you have 4 of them in the past, and you have Munir, who's I would call him a quasi-dictator. And we've talked about this in the past. It's a hybrid system that he's worked out because it suits him, right? He takes all the bouquets, and that poor guy standing next to him, Shahbaz, gets all the brickbats, right? Anything that happens, that it's the prime minister. I'm just the army chief. He's the prime minister, tell him that. He's the elected guy. I'm just the army chief. So that's how he gets away.
Blame him. Rasta kharab hai, blame him.
Blame him, exactly. I mean, can you imagine how catastrophic it would be for Munir if he were actually running the country right now, Pakistan as it is today, with the dead crisis and the civil war that's on there, and people being massacred, the military being targeted, not just in Balochistan, but in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa as well. And, trains are being blown up by insurgents. And
multiple times, same train, Jafar Express, multiple
Jafar
times.
Express is an insurgent magnet. They hit it every few months.
Right.
But it's a terrible situation for this CEO to take charge. So he lets someone else run the show for him.
Yeah. Right. I wanted to talk about how India should be looking at this, or how India will look at it. Because what I've read online is what I've seen a sharp divide in how experts see this vis-a-vis India. First, let's look at how India's reacted to it.
Yeah.
the MEA in its statement has more or less said that we've noted the development.
Yeah.
We were aware that this was coming, and this formalizes a long-standing arrangement between the two countries. We will now study the implications this development this development has on our national security, and we remain committed to protecting India's national interests. So it's a pretty measured, pretty boilerplate foreign ministry statement saying nothing essentially, basically saying कि हाँ देखा note किया we'll see क्या करना है. But when it comes to the experts, when it comes to what the debate that's been going, there are two camps. One camp says that this will cause some alarm, not about or not as much about Saudi being potentially involved in a conflict in the future, but more about the finances, more about the Saudi money flowing to Pakistan, and then some of it ending up with the army, and then that being used to again foment terrorism against India, which has been the case with a lot of funds that Pakistan gets from many countries in the world. The other camp says that, again, it's just something that was already in existence. This is more formalization of it. It's just been put down on paper.
Yeah.
There's not much for India to worry. Like you said, India is a major buyer of Saudi oil. It is Saudi's second largest trade partner after China.
Yeah.
Very close with Japan. And like you said, once again, in the last decade, ties between Riyadh and New Delhi have become very, very, very warm.
Yes.
So Saudi will not want to risk that. So it will obviously keep India in mind.